All right, I'm going to make this one just quick and to the point. Let's get right to it. Tulane and Memphis, 7 o'clock tonight. I am going to take Tulane by 17. I think big win. They get right back on track. Fresno State, Utah State, same thing. Fresno State needs that get back on track win. I think they win by 20. Stanford, Colorado. I think this game will be closer than a lot think. This is going to be Stanford's one big game where people will actually be watching it. So they're going to play hard. 3 quarters, maybe 3.5. But I think Colorado pulls away late and wins by 10. Saturday, October 14th, 2023. Wow. Georgia, Vanderbilt at 12. I mean, Georgia just annihilated Kentucky, who's better than Vanderbilt, obviously. And they won by, 35? So they're going to beat Vanderbilt by 49. Indiana, Michigan at 12. And I remember 3 years ago talking about this game, and Michael Penix in Indiana won it, and it was crazy emotional victory. Michigan was top 25 team. It was their second top 25 win of the year. It's not the same Indiana team. Indiana will lose by 32. Ohio State, Purdue. And I also remember when Purdue would give Ohio State a fight every time. And I do think that their quarterback is pretty decent. Card. The guy who actually almost beat Bama last year is the backup when he played for Texas, but that's not going to happen here. Ohio State was too strong for Maryland, and Maryland's better than Purdue. So I'm going to take Ohio State by 17. Syracuse, Florida State. Syracuse is going to give them a fight up until the end. I think Florida State only pulls it off by 7. University of Massachusetts versus Penn State. This really shouldn't be talked about that long. Penn State's probably going to win by 20. Then you got Game of the Week at 3:30, and I will be watching this. I might even live react to the end of this game. It depends. Tell me if you guys want me to live react to any of these games. I might do it. Same thing with the USC Notre Dame game that comes after. We'll talk about that in a second. Oregon versus Washington. This really comes down to defense for me. And as much as I love Washington, and I think Washington still can make that Pac-12 championship, I think they suffer their one regular season loss here. They might lose, Pac-12 championship, but I think they do lose to Oregon. Now, do I want them to? No, I'm a big Washington fan right now. I love Penix and the team, but that Oregon defense is legit. Washington's defense hasn't been tested, and I think Washington comes out slow. I think they play from behind. They're down 21 at one point. I think they come back and are down by 7, but they probably just don't get the ball back. Probably lose by 10. But Washington's going to give them a fight. And maybe they face off again in the Pac-12 championship, because I do think Washington beats Washington State, beats Oregon State, beats UCLA, USC. I still think they get those marquee wins, so I still think that they can get to that division championship. And then maybe the playoffs, because, championships weighed more than the regular season. USC, Notre Dame. Give me USC, and it won't be close. Last year, this game was supposed to be close, and it really wasn't. And this year, Notre Dame looks just as out of whack and out of, rhythm as that. Ever since that Ohio State lost, they fell apart. And I think USC wins by 17. That offense of USC is way too good for Notre Dame's defense. Arkansas, Alabama. Now, I'm going to look crazy. I am going to look crazy, right? I saw this Arkansas team put up a crazy fight and even go up by 3 last year with KJ Jefferson. And I've seen this Arkansas team lose by 1 score in 4 of their 4 losses, I think. Or maybe 3 of the... Whatever. Most of the losses are all 1 score. And this Bama team isn't a team that's shown they can pull away, really. They kind of pulled away from Ole Miss by 14, right? But I think Arkansas is underrated in the SEC, and something's telling me take them. So I'm taking Arkansas to beat Alabama. Humongous upset, and I'm taking them by a touchdown. Actually, no, I'm taking them by 6. Miami versus North Carolina, 7:30. Miami is terribly coached. I mean, last week they had one of the worst things I ever saw. They ran the ball when they should have kneeled it to end the game. They fumble it. Then with 7 seconds left, freaking Georgia Tech threw a touchdown, won them the game. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is stupid. So North Carolina and Drake May, who's a Heisman candidate, are going to win probably by 16. Louisville, Pitt. Now this is going to be tough for Louisville. Pitt's not a bad team, and Louisville rocketed up to 14. Can they take the pressure? I think they can't for a while, but I do think they end up winning by 3 points. I think that's a tough game, though, for Louisville, and I'm sold, but I'm not fully sold yet. Not fully. UCLA, Oregon State, big Pac-12 matchup at 8 o'clock. I am going to take UCLA over Oregon State, as weird as that seems. They beat Utah pretty good, and DJ Oogla he's good, but I don't know. I feel like he's going to have a fall flat game, so I think UCLA wins by 10. Cal versus Utah. Utah's got to win this one. Keep their hopes alive. I think they do. I think they beat Cal by 15. NC State, Duke. Give me Duke. Duke's a really good team. Should have probably beaten Notre Dame. I mean, they came back. If they wouldn't have trailed early on in that game, they would have won it. But give me Duke by 10. I can't wait for Duke, North Carolina this year. All right, Texas A&M versus Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. A lot of people are going back and but no, this Texas A&M team is not like that Florida team they brought in, where it's like, oh, well, Florida showed sparks. I think A&M sort of does, but this A&M team lost to Miami, who I think is actually awful now because of that coaching job. I know their talent's there or whatever, but like, come on, you can't get out coached by Miami. For that reason, give me Tennessee by 17. Arizona, Washington State. Now, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, right? But Arizona's good. Arizona's good in the Pac-12. And I really wish Pac-12 was an ending because Arizona is a team that next year is going to be really, really solid. And I think is a top 25 team next year. But at the moment, Washington State has the edge and wins by 7. Auburn, LSU, I've heard this game's going to be close. I don't believe it. I'm taking LSU by 17. Kansas, Oklahoma State. I don't think Oklahoma State's legit. And I think Kansas, off of only one loss, being ranked 23 is kind of crazy. I think they're very good, especially when the starting quarterback's playing Jalen Daniels. So give me Kansas and give me them by 25. All right, Missouri, Kentucky. Missouri fell out of the ranking. This is crazy to me. Missouri lost. They threw a pick to make it a loss by 10, but they really only lost by 3, right? And you drop them out of the rankings, and now they're playing Kentucky, who got decimated by Georgia. I don't believe what the freaking media hype's about. I think Missouri is still good. I think Missouri has a better chance to play Georgia and beat them than Kentucky did. And honestly, than anybody on Georgia's schedule other than Tennessee has a chance to beat Georgia, I think, is Missouri. So for that reason, give me Missouri by 10. I really love this Missouri team. Luther Burden is crazy, and he's even in Heisman contention for some people. Pretty crazy. All right, first guy to be in Heisman contention, wide receiver since Devontae Smith, if you remember that. Iowa State versus Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati by 25. Kent State, Eastern Michigan. Give me Kent State by 10. James Madison, Georgia Southern, great game, underrated game, but I love James Madison. I think they continue to win, and I really think they're the best non-Power 5 team right there with Tulane, right there with Fresno State. I think they're up there. Wyoming, same thing. Like, those 4 teams are really good non-Power 5. James Madison, there's just always something special with them, and I think they win by 17. Temple, North Texas, give me Temple by 10. Michigan State, Rutgers, give me Rutgers by 5. Toledo, Ball State, God, Ball State's taking all my hope away. But this is the week they win, okay? And I will continue to pick them because I'm biased and I want to go to Ball State. Give me Ball State by 20. Navy versus Charlotte. Give me Charlotte by 6. Troy versus Army of West Point. I gotta call my grandpa. It's his birthday. Okay. Troy versus Army. Give me Troy by 10. Bowling Green versus Buffalo. Give me Bowling Green by 10. Akron, Central Michigan, 3:30. I'm taking Akron. I like Akron this year, and I think they are actually going to be pretty decent next year, so I'm taking them by 15. Illinois versus Maryland. Give me Maryland getting a bounce-back win. They probably win by 10 or 13. I like them, and I still think they have a chance to beat a Michigan or beat a Penn State with the way they played against Ohio State. Florida, South Carolina, a lot of discourse on this game. People are thinking it could go either way. I don't. I think it goes South Carolina's way. They finally put it together. They can't fall to 2-4, so they're going to be 3-3, and they're going to win by 10. Florida Atlantic, USF. USF just got dominated by UAB, which I thought UAB would win that because they played good against Georgia, right? USF played good against Alabama's F team. So, I don't know what to expect from USF, but it's not a win. Their quarterback's too young. Give me Florida Atlantic by 8. BYU versus TCU. Give me BYU, believe it or not. I like them. They win by 20. Jeez. Did I say that? I guess I did. Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. Give me Wake Forest by 11. Miami of Ohio versus Western Michigan. Give me Miami of Ohio. They're on fire. They win by 17. Ohio versus Northern Illinois. Give me Ohio. They win by 17. Iowa versus Wisconsin. Give me Wisconsin. They win by 14. UNLV versus Nevada. Give me UNLV. And give me them by 20. San Jose State, New Mexico. Give me San Jose State. And give me them by 7. Wyoming, Air Force. Give me Wyoming. Air Force is pretty good too, though. This should be an amazing game. But give me Wyoming by 6. Marshall versus Georgia State. Give me Georgia State over Marshall by a little bit. Probably by 10. ULM versus Texas State. Give me Texas State. They got to get a bounce back. Louisiana Raging Cajuns beat them. Great game by Louisiana. They're not playing this week, I guess. But Texas State wins by 6. Hopefully they get a rematch in the Sun Belt Championship because I love both of them. Kansas State versus Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech and give me them by 9. UAB, UTSA. I got UAB is a good team. And they beat UTSA by about 13. UTSA is okay too. Boise State, Colorado State. Give me Colorado State. They're rolling. They've won 2 in a row, I think. Ever since that Colorado game, they've been playing better football because they played good football in that game. And I think people underrated them, and I think they win against Boise. Well, they're playing at Colorado State, so they're probably going to win by like 17. Hawaii, San Diego State, late at night, 11 o'clock, late game, going to end at 2 a.m. Give me San Diego State, and give me them by 6. Can't stay up. I can't stay up and watch that one. All right. Wait, maybe did Louisiana already play this week? No. There was games on Tuesday this week, too, guys. Crazy. Alright, that's all I got. Till next time, y'all. When I see you again, I will be ending the video like this. Yo, I have like out game picks.